Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Oh, good lordy. All kinds of activities happening while Al-Sudini is here at the UN. A lot of reasons to be excited. There is a great opportunity for serious prosperity for the Iraqi people. Again, prayers for the Iraqi people that their government doesn't do something to ruin this opportunity, because the opportunity is there and it is big for the Iraqi people. We're talking about a super huge opportunity for their economy to really blossom, and in return, their currency to gain in value. So things are starting to look up. This is awesome. Let's get into this. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. You can follow me over on other platforms. I do have my own group over on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So head on over here and join us. It's free to do so. In here, I do post updates. If I should get on suspension from YouTube or get removed from YouTube and you want to know what happened to me, I'll let you know right here in this group. I can be found on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and the cool thing about YouTube, if you come over here and you join and you find my channel, I got videos going back, I believe, a couple years. So if you want to see some older videos that I have on Nasera, Jacera, gold, silver, cryptos, come on over here and join. Look me up and check out my videos. You can also find me on Odyssey. Catch me on Rumble. When I say that the links for all these are down below in the description, some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's real simple. Just go down to the bottom right here of any of my videos. See this? This is the description. Hit show more. And there are all the links to all the platforms I just spoke about. Okay, let's get into this, shall we? So Al-Sudini, we plan to be a gas exporting country. And it is time for American companies to enter the Iraqi market. It's about dang time. Well, first of all, we knew already there was a lot of American companies already jockeying to get over here. I'm wondering if Al-Sudini is talking about granting them the license necessary to start new companies over there in Iraq. So Al-Sudini's media stated in a statement, the Prime Minister Al-Sudini participated in dialogue symposium held by the American institutions and attended by a number of media outlets and a group of researchers, which addressed various political and economic issues of Iraqi concern. Al-Sudini said funding the region from the budget is linked to previously financial problems facing the region, which clearly appears after stopping the export of oil through the Turkish port, and because of limitations and difficulties in the budget law for the year 2023, indicating that the federal government dealt with a responsible position in the region is indivisible from Iraq, and our moral and national responsibility towards its citizen is the same responsibility with citizens in the southern and central governance. We found a solution and announced it after the visit of the delegation of the Iraqi Kurdish region, and the solution came from Baghdad and not from abroad. With understanding, dialogue, and acknowledgement of these commitments and legal limitations, we will find a solution to all problems. The Prime Minister stated that we have launched funding that will continue until the end of the year, and financial settlements will be made before the end of the year, explaining that the dialogues are ongoing regarding other entitlements, including discussing the draft oil and gas law. Man, they need to hurry up and get that over with. He pointed out that there is an opportunity to solve problems that represent a crisis in our relations with the United States and with Iran, especially with regard to recent Iranian gas dues, stressing that the government is based on institutional work and diversified economy and a real fight against corruption, and it is also based on enforcing the law and independence of the judiciary, and for each of them, there is a practical achievement for the government during the past months. The time has come for the American companies to enter the Iraqi market, especially the energy market, noting that Iraq is an important and pivotal country in the global energy market, and soon it will be a country in the gas market through natural and associated gas investments. So they are venturing into a whole different area. I remember at one time I could have swore they had a gas refinery, but it was shut down due to ISIS. So it looks like they are heading into a whole other market besides oil. This is outstanding. He added, we burn 1,300 million cubic feet of gas every day, and we import from Iran 1,000 million cubic feet. The burn cost is $4 to $5 billion, and the import cost is about $4 billion, explaining that natural and associated gas has not even been invested by some governments before 2003. So it looks like they're spending about $8 billion between the two. Yikes. I'm guessing that will be saved. That'd be good for Iraq. That's a lot of money back in their pocket. Al-Sadini stressed that the government has completed important projects in the gas sector, which will enable us to export gas in the future. We have completed a total agreement and the 5th round agreement with Emirati and Chinese companies, and we have national efforts in addition to the 6th round currently presented to international companies. We already knew that the UAE and China were going to be these markets, and Russia as well. So I'm curious to see how much of this pie America is able to get their hands on. He said, we plan on Iraq to be a gas exporting country in light of the size of the huge reserves of natural gas that have not been invested in the history of Iraq. We are a country that produces 4,652,000 barrels daily. And imagine that amount of gas accompanying this production, which constitutes wasted wealth that's wasted. The government has established the correct foundation for its investment, pointing out the government has prepared a future vision linked to the strategic development of road project, which will be an accompanying corridor for the road and the railway, and there is a line to support oil and gas to Turkey and Europe. So this is going to be very good for Iraq. Not only do they have all that oil that they can count on to sell, but now they're going to include being in the gas market. Prosperity is definitely on its way to Iraq. And I'm pretty sure I know what's on everybody's mind. When will the dinar change? It's good that they're talking about these things. I get it why people are excited. But these things have to be implemented. They have to be already in play before you start to see some changes happening. I still think the dinar is going to go up in increments, but I'd like to start seeing some of those increments take place now. I don't think you'll see any increases this year, but very possibly next year. Al-Sadini confirmed during the symposium, exports through the Turkish port stopped after the decision of the International Arbitration Court, which issued a ruling in favor of Iraq, noting that the Turkish side made clear the existence of technical problems, and we waited for their confirmation of the extent of the technical problems in the pipeline. We are awaiting notification from the Turkish side to resume exports because stopping it violates the basis of the agreement between Iraq and Turkey of 1973. Iraq loses about 470,000 barrels daily due to the cessation of the exports from the Turkish line. A number of that affected the size of the budget revenues. Man, that's a lot. If that's how much is flowing through this pipeline, that's a huge payday for Iraq once it gets going. Al-Sadini reserved the right to respond to any violations of Iraq's sovereignty and called for the formation of an international bloc in the region. So during his speech to the General Assembly, Sadini said Iraq is still an important oil country and a pivotal country in the global energy market, and there are important opportunities, projects, and business. We launched a development road project, which is the vital land channel linking basic economic parts of our region and the best route for trade and economic exchange in the region. We identified the scourge of corruption, made fighting it our first priority, and began pursuing wanted persons wherever they were, regardless of their position or affiliation, and handing them over to the judiciary. We ask friendly and partner countries to extend a helping hand and cooperation in combating corruption and recovering stolen funds because we believe in interconnection between corruption and terrorism. So they are keen to build an independent and balanced foreign policy based on bridging viewpoints and commodity, and for Iraq to be a source of stability in the regional and international surroundings and part of the solution to any regional and international problems. Goes on to say, we reject interference in our country's internal affairs under any pretext, and our constitution requires that Iraq not be a launching pad for aggression against other countries, and we demand that everyone respect Iraq's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. He said, we reserve the right to take appropriate measures in accordance with what has been approved by international laws and conventions to deter any violation against Iraq. We aim to achieve regional integration, remove anything that hinders free trade in the region, and facilitate the movement of people, goods, and capital across political borders. Scoot down just a little, you can see right here, addressing the issue of displaced persons is among the government's priorities. And we have taken many measures to ensure their voluntary and safe return to their original areas of residence and the reconstruction of their liberated cities. We were keen to resolve the issues of missing persons who disappeared at the hands of ISIS criminals and to provide material and psychological support to their families and reintegrate them. He said the drying up of the natural water bodies in the marshes is an environmental and historic loss. And the environmental catastrophe will be more severe for Iraq and the region with an unprecedented rise in temperatures. Build that dam so you can start trapping that water, in my opinion. The group coordinates regional efforts to manage waters, confront climate change, enhance environmental protection, and work together to combat drought. Scroll down just a little, it says Iraq is classified as a young country and the youth groups constitute 60% of the population, and the government has paid attention to youth in its governmental program. This is important for Iraq. You got to understand, in order for a country to be successful, you really have to have a very young working class. There's a lot of countries out there, especially in China, where most of the population are really old. So they are working on launching an initiative for development and employment to support students and youth, empower them, invest in ideas and skills, and provide thousands of job opportunities for them. The Supreme Youth Council was also formed, headed by the Prime Minister. He goes on to say, we are working through productive diplomacy to make Iraq a center for meeting brothers, friends, and partners, to build a safe and prosperous region. Today, Iraq is distinguished by the strength of its resources, its geographical location, and the will of its people who faced challenges and triumphed over them. So this is really big too for Iraq. Oil confirms the obligation of foreign companies to adopt Iraq's workers at a rate of more than 85%. So more than 85% of the workforce for any international company coming into Iraq, they have to have 85% of the workforce be Iraqi people. The Ministry of Oil confirmed today, Friday, the development of a plan to accommodate specialization according to the needs of oil companies, noting that it obligated foreign companies to adopt national workers at a rate of more than 85%. A spokesman for the ministry said that the Ministry of Oil respects all claims, respects all specialization, and emphasizes the importance of geographical specialization as an important active element in the Iraqi oil industry, pointing out that the ministry has appointed thousands of graduates from this specialization over the past years. The ministry is developing its plans to accommodate specialization according to the needs of the oil companies. He's indicating that the issue of providing job grades is not related to the Ministry of Oil, but rather related to the government programs and its plans to determine each ministry's plan for job grades every year. The authority of the ministry and the government must be separated, and without allocation of job grades, the ministry cannot fulfill appointment requests. He explained that the foreign workers in investment companies are elements of temporary work that may take a certain period until the work is finished, and they are not permanent opportunities, stressing that the ministry always works to provide opportunities for graduates, including geological specialization and others. Hussein, we discussed with Washington linking the market and the dinar to the dollar, and reveals the terms of the agreement with Iran. So a lot of people were saying, yeah, this means something with the dinar. Not really. As a matter of fact, they barely mention it in here. Here is the paragraph. Returning to the issue of relations with the United States, the Iraqi official revealed that among the important files on the level of dialogue with Washington was the issue of linking the Iraqi market and currency with the dollar and the flows of the United States currency to the country, noting that it is a financial and banking issue related to financial and economic situations of Iraq. What you're hoping for is Iraq to start de-dollarizing so they can start strengthening their currency. I spoke about that yesterday in the other video. So things are looking really, really good for Iraq. Let's keep it up. Hopefully things will start to change. I know there's a lot of prosperity that's going to be coming to the Middle East. I'm sure Iraq is a big part of that. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think. I look forward to hearing from you. That's it for now. I'm out.